Join now for this final drive extra with the head coach of the Gonzaga Eagles, Randy Trivers, pulling off one of the bigger upsets we've seen in the last few years. Maybe not since it's WCAC play, but considering the team that had consideration for number one team of the nation, the DeMatha Stags, falling to Coach Trivers' Gonzaga Eagles tonight, 24-14, a road win for the Eagles. Coach Trivers, first off, congratulations on one heck of a win.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And our kids, our players really did a fantastic job tonight, and just really, really proud of their effort.
Yeah, and you look at this game, and I had a chance to kind of watch most of it before I got into the preps for our show on Friday nights. But it was interesting. Despite the fact you guys forced 4 turnovers, we'll talk about that. I thought you guys did a great job of keeping what is an extremely athletic DeMatha team off balance with your play calling, just kind of getting some different looks and different things. Talk about what you guys were able to do as an offensive staff to keep that really good team from ever really kind of locking in on what you guys were doing.
Well, first off, DeMatha is excellent. You know, they're an excellent football team. Their defense is outstanding. They're well coached, and you know, so to really have a chance against a team like that, you can't be one dimensional. You know, and because they're just too good. You know, you have to try to keep them off balance, and be balanced offensively to give yourself a real shot. They're just so doggone good. But yeah, I mean, we were able to have success on first down tonight, I think, which was really big because it puts you in more favorable play calling situations. And then we were able to convert on a couple critical third downs, which, you know, really, you know, kept the chains moving for us at crucial times tonight. So, you know, and the kids, you know, the players just did a great job of executing and staying poised through the night. You know, with you know, because we had some things that they, you know, where we laid the ball on the ground a couple times, but we still were able to fight through some of those issues and overcome.
Yeah, and Coach, you mentioned that, and I think you lead me into my next point. Tyree Randolph, your running back, had an early fumble in the game, and instead of shrinking from it like some kids may do, he comes out and just kind of, as they say, balled out the rest of the game, ran for over 100 yards, had 2 touchdowns. Talk about your running back's performance in that game tonight.
So Tyree was excellent. You know, he's been, you know, just such a productive player for us all year long. You know, he's been a workhorse, you know, and tonight was no different. He had some big runs when we needed, and, you know, not necessarily did he, you know, break off the, you know, 40, 50, 80 yard type of run tonight, but he was steady, and he made some, you know, really strong runs between the tackles tonight, and you know, it really helped us keep the chains moving. And, you know, and I think, you know, Tyree is, you know, darn near close to, I think he may went over the 1,000-yard tonight on the season already. And, you know, I think he's been in the end zone about 16, 17 times. But the neat thing about him, he hasn't fumbled all year. So tonight was his first fumble. So that's a whole lot of touches without laying on the ground. Tonight he laid one on the ground, but as you alluded to, his response to it was what was key. And, you know, so, you know, that's going to happen. You're always going to have some, you know, you're going to make a mistake here or there. It's how you respond to mistakes. And that's what we've been trying to teach and preach to our football team all year long. And really this week in particular, playing a good team, a team like DeMatha, they are going to make some plays on you. You know, so how are you going to respond when DeMatha makes plays? I mean, heck, they rip off their first offensive play from scrimmage. You know, what was it? Doggone 80-yard touchdown run. You know, so how do you respond? You know, are we going to just hang our heads and, well, you know, it's going to be a long night, it's over, or are we going to, you know, step up and you know, be ready for the next one? And that's what I think Tyree did a good job after his fumble that he had, and really our team, I thought, did a good job with it.
You talk about the team, and you have to credit that team defense for holding a really explosive DeMatha offense in check, a team that has felt like they can kind of turn the switch on when they needed to. Obviously, it seemed like the turnovers tonight were huge. You guys get 4 of them. Was there a special emphasis this week in practice saying, hey, we got to punch a couple balls loose, or was this just what you guys have taught these kids throughout and just kind of came out in a great performance defensively tonight?
I think it's both. We really do teach and practice and rehearse, different methods of taking the ball away. It's something that's really a major emphasis in our program. But also, we felt like this week for us to, really go out and give ourselves a chance to win, that we would really have to do a good job of making, creating those turnovers and placing a big emphasis on that. So, and try to give the offense football a little more, so, yeah, I mean, it's a combination of both. And, fortunately, we were able to, create a few tonight.
And most definitely, Randy Trivers, head coach of Gonzaga, off their upset of the DeMatha Stags tonight, the #1 team in the area, joining us here on this final drive extra. And Coach Trivers, the old saying, there's no rest for the wicked. Well, there's no rest in the WCAC. You guys take on a good council team next week. Plus, you get the 2 DC rivals in Carroll and St. John's. And how do you approach such a big win and then having to say, boy, we got a lot of football left to play on the schedule?
Oh, and really, truly, it's one game, and although hey, everybody, in and 200 teams going in WCC, a big game, but it's one game, it's one regular season game, and you can't, you got to always enjoy the wins. I tell our players and I tell our coaches, whenever you win a football games are hard to win. So you got to enjoy them. Time in the preparation, a lot of time in trying to get to that point, through the off season, certainly during the season. It's not like you play 3 or 4 games a week. It's not like baseball or lacrosse or soccer where you can play several games. We only got 1 a week. So you got to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to prepare, and you go out and say, enjoy it. But by the same token, we have, as you said, there's just every week is huge. Right? So next week is Big Council, and we have Carroll, we have St. John's, and hopefully we're fortunate enough to keep winning and get into the playoffs. But really, you got to celebrate, enjoy those wins, and you got to come back to work. So. It's I'm going to enjoy it for the next couple of minutes, and then I'll be trying to prepare for an awesome good council team.
One last one for you, Coach. I know it's been a long day for you. We'll get you out of here on this one. Did you and your team and did your staff maybe learn something from last year? All the hype, you guys come as the top team. You had the big win over Centerville on national television. Then the injury bug hit you, and then kind of stumbled down the stretch a little bit, I think, from what your goals, at least on the season, were. Do you think you guys as a complete team learned a lesson from last year that you can take moving forward this year?
I think, you should always be learning and always improving and getting better. So that's always, something, I think you try to do when you're a football coach, and always, you can always take something from the last game, win, lose, or draw, or the last season. So definitely, you're always learning, but really, every year is a new year. And, you got different players and got to reteach. The beauty of, of football is you always have to, you're always teaching and always educating and always, the challenge of always, molding and shaping the group, the collective group, so, I think, it's definitely, a great challenge for us. To really, so my second year at Gonzaga, we're shaping and molding a particular football culture here, so when you do that, it takes time to mold and develop. And, that's we're in the midst of right now. And, I think, one thing that our players are doing a good job of buying in and understanding and continue to develop and create the right football culture for us to be, successful, consistently successful week in and week out, and hopefully year in and year out. So it's a lot of fun to see this group of people, the coaches and the players, continue to come together and get, in the gel and to bond and to, and to see those results, really come to fruition on the field, as well as really, it's bigger, much bigger than just on the field stuff. And so I really love the way that our team is, as a whole, as young men and as football players, ultimately are enhancing each other, really.
Well, obviously you guys are doing some good things there on I Street, especially tonight, a 24-14 win over top-ranked DeMatha. Randy Trivers, head coach of the Gonzaga Eagles. Congratulations, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on, and really, really appreciate it. And, I also just want to, finish off just, congratulations to, DeMatha's football team, because they are truly outstanding. And I want to thank my players and coaches for their dedication and commitment to Gonzaga.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.